everybody, welcome to Q&A. I am the company's expert, and today we're going to talk about how to get hired despite having a resume gap or an employment gap or basically just a gap in your work history. Okay? Now, today, Sue has sent in a question, and Sue is asking, okay, 3 years ago, I was in hospital for a couple of weeks with 6 weeks off. After 6 weeks, the doctor said I could go back to work. I went back to work for 6 months, but found it difficult. I was not ready to be working yet, so I quit. After being off for 2 years, I am now ready to go back to work. What do I put in my resume for the reason I have not worked for almost 3 years? Good question, Sue. I have said unemployed, semi-retired, and medical leave, but I'm not getting calls. One person called when I was using medical leave, and she was more interested in my hospital stay, discussing my recovery and when I was able to go back to work, rather than the job I was going after. Then she said I was not a good fit. Ooh, for those of you who don't know when they say you're not a good fit, that's code for we've eliminated you, and we're not going to tell you why for a variety of reasons. So that's what that means. If ever you get told that, I'm sure most people do get told that when they're doing a job search. Okay, one person called when I said semi-retired and wondered why I was looking for a full-time position. I did not get that either. I'm at a loss. I'm qualified for what I'm looking for. My medical history has no effect on what I'm looking for. I've decided to go for both part-time or full-time. Both will work for me at this time. Can you give me some advice as to what I should say in my resume and how to answer the questions? Okay, thank you for sending that in, Sue. That's a great question. And this is kind of a relatively common scenario too, so I think a lot of other people would be interested in what you do here. Okay, now, a couple of things. Okay, first of all, a couple of concepts. Recruiters are risk averse, okay? Recruiters by training are not, in all honesty, despite what they say, they're not really interested in really searching for a great candidate. Instead, what they're in the business of is looking for red flags and eliminating people based on red flags because those could be a concern. They could, they make that candidate more risky, okay? Now, this definitely falls into that category, okay? If you have an unexplained work gap, their first thought is, okay, maybe this person hasn't been working because there's something wrong with them that, that I can't see. And if nobody else wants to hire them, maybe that's telling me that I shouldn't hire them either, okay? That's what they think, okay? They're trained to think in this risk-averse way. And that's the first thing you got to know about them. Second thing is that, in all honesty, not all, but most recruiters, they are ill-equipped to judge who's a good candidate and who isn't. So they have to resort to criteria like this, okay? Because they really don't know. And I can say this, I've taught recruiters in university. Now, I've done a previous video on resume gaps, employment gaps, having gaps in your work history and how you overcome those, okay? I'll post a link to that video in the description and hopefully at the end of this video too. But if you can't be bothered to watch it, the bottom line was that if you have a work gap, okay, and if it's over 1 year and it's right now, it's between now and the previous job you had, okay, you're gonna have to show some professional experience during that work gap. That's what recruiters are looking for, okay? Now, by professional experience, what I mean is you've got to show that you went back to school. You got to show maybe you took some training. You could show that you did volunteering. You could show that you did consulting, okay? All of those would likely justify the work gap. They would help explain it away, and it would alleviate their concerns that it's going to be a problem, okay? So if you can say any of those things, great, say it. Write it into your resume and don't have like a gap. You address the gap and you say what you did during that time. Now, if you can't say you've done any of those 4 things, okay, you didn't go back to school, you didn't take any training, you didn't volunteer, and you didn't consult, okay, if you can't say those, what I would recommend is that you now go and take some training, okay, online. Just take some online courses, preferably in an area that's related to the jobs you're going after, okay? So that you can say, hey, I haven't just done nothing the last 2 years. I've been taking some training. And I've been taking training in this particular area of this field that I've discovered I'm quite passionate about, and I've learned a lot about it. And I've also learned a bit about it outside of the training too. I've just read up on it. And that's reinforced my passion to work in this area. And I feel I have a lot more abilities now that I can bring to it. So if you can say something like that, that would be really good. So my recommendation is to, this is your first option, to go and take training now and then be able to say that stuff, okay? So if they ask you about it, that's what you say. That's your first option, okay? There's kind of 3 options I'm gonna lay on you here. The second option is if you're able to say, when you justify your work app, if you're able to say that you did something personal, okay, for example, caring for a sick family member, okay, I was off work because I was caring for a sick family member, okay, but now that's over and I'm ready to come back to work, okay? Because it's a personal nature, they're probably not going to ask too many more probing questions about it, and it does justify your work gap, okay? It alleviates concerns. The only concern they could have is that if that were to happen again, so you say, it's over now, okay? Another example of that would be saying, I had to care for small children. Maybe you're a new mom, or maybe some relative dumped their kids on you. I don't know. But something like that would help justify having a work gap, okay? So if you can say those things, say them. Those are good answers that alleviate recruiters' concerns about this stuff, okay? That's your second option, okay? Now you have a third option, and in all honesty, this is the one that I would recommend for a lot of people. If you've never done this or never learned anything about this, and it's the hidden job market, okay? The hidden job market can bypass this entire issue, okay? Because if you get a job in the hidden job market, the interaction is a little bit different. First of all, you don't go through a recruiter, okay? You're dealing with a hiring manager. And secondly, the nature of the interaction is that they're asking you to come in and interview for the job. So they tend to believe more of what you say. They're not quite as skeptical when you talk about stuff like this. They may not even bring it up a lot of times. Now, the caveat, the problem here is that a lot of people, it seems, I'm judging from YouTube comments, haven't heard of the hidden job market, and still other people seem to think it's some kind of conspiracy theory or something. It's not, okay? You don't have to take my word for it. Go read up on it. This is very real. So if you've never heard of the hidden job market, you don't know how it works, okay? I've done a video on it. I will put a link to the video in the description, and also at the end of this video, I'll put a link to it. I've got a playlist on how to do specific things in the hidden job market, like how to find employers around you and apply for jobs and things. And if you want to really go deep, I have a course that describes everything, how to do it, how it works. So if you've never heard of this, I would highly recommend that you learn. This will benefit your career for the entire rest of your life if you know about this. Okay? If I haven't said it already, 70% plus of all jobs that are out there are in the hidden job market. All the jobs you see posted, those are only around 20% of all the jobs that are actually out there. Okay? And if you don't believe me, don't take my word for it. Read up on it. What I've noticed, though, that I think is kind of interesting is that a lot of people who give career advice, including some YouTubers, they themselves are recruiters. So I imagine it's a bit of a conflict for a recruiter to tell you to bypass recruiters. So maybe that's why this isn't talked about more than it actually is. But it's to your benefit to learn about it. Okay, don't necessarily listen to me. Listen to a variety of sources on this. Okay, it's very real. So you go after the hiring manager. Okay, you think who would be a boss you would like. You find those people. Okay, and you contact them through social media, and you give a professional message. You say, "Hey, I'm here, and I have talents in this area, and I'm looking for something for a job in that area. And if you ever need someone that can do this, let me know because I'd love to work for you." And that's it. You just send that out, and statistical probability is that that's gonna land with someone who's looking to hire somebody that has what you have right at this time. And that's how that works. And then they contact you and they say, "Yeah, I'm looking for somebody. You should come in and let's talk." That's how that works. So those are 3 options to address this issue. And definitely do option 1 or 2, and then I'd highly recommend also maybe on the side doing option 3. So hopefully that makes sense. Thank you very much for your attention. Don't forget to subscribe and join my channel because I have members only videos. I got 1 video coming out on Friday, so check that out. And each and every one of you is awesome. I say that a lot, but I mean it. And if you really put the work in, it's going to pay off. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.